Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in on this Thursday afternoon. My name is Ajit. I'm part of the admissions team at Great Lakes. Uh, we will talk about our Business Analytics Certificate program today. Uh, this session is broadly divided into three categories. First, we will speak a little bit about the opportunities available in analytics. I think that's what we all are aware of. More so, what is the reason? What is this data revolution which is causing this growth in the industry? Second, we will look at our business analytics certificate program in depth, what it covers, how it covers, and how it helps you transition to a analytics role or industry. In the end, we will take questions. We already have a list of questions from uh, a bunch of you who had put in those questions while signing up. And if you have any question at any point in time, please feel free to type in and send it to us, and I shall be able to answer all of those towards the end of the session. Uh, with that, I think let's get started. File analytics. I think we all know that there is a lot of demand, there is a lot of buzz around this word. So, is that something significant, or is just a fad, right? If you look at some of the demand and some of the portals and some of the surveys, so this is what I've tried and distilled and put it in front of all of you. By 2020, 2.7 million job postings for analytics or data science roles are expected, right? By 2020, demand supply gap only in India is expected to be about 200,000. Analytics sector as an industry is looking to grow from 2 billion to 16 billion by 2025. Right? Now all these numbers are good and fine and look good, but how do we make sense of it? I think we can make some sense by comparing it to some other industry which we know really well, which is the IT industry. If in 1990s, IT industry was the crown of corporate India, right? Infosys, TCS, and so many guys have built such big businesses that the industry was growing at around 30%. Today, if we speak, right, IT sector growth is somewhere between 7 to 8%, while analytics industry is growing at 28 to 30%. Uh, and this is also because today every single company, be it in any domain, from construction, real estate, airlines to FMCG, e-commerce, right? Any company, they are looking to use the data to make decisions which drive profit. Every single manager in each of the functions, in marketing, in finance, in operations, is trying to analyze data and make very smart decisions which will help them increase profitability. Right? If you look at the salary of analytics professionals, it is around 12.7 lakhs for the last year, right? Which is the highest ever. One, that the median salary for analytics professionals itself is high compared to other professions. On top of it, that salary is increasing each year. There are more than 600 analytics firms in India, and last year over 700 million USD has flown in as a funding for analytics startups. All of these statistics are from NASCOM reports or salary reports, right? So this tells us that this is a very good space to get into today, right? Why is this happening? And that's an important question to ask. Uh, we all look at this data, we all look at these job openings, we all look at the space opening up, but what is the real cause? Why is it happening? I think the answer to that is the fourth industrial revolution. If you look at how the industrial revolutions have happened, the first industrial revolution was the one where we got exposure to appliances, right? Wherein we started building steam-powered engines, and the manufacturing, uh, you know, facilities sprung up. That was the very beginning of appliances. Today, all what we have, be it a refrigerator, be it a washing machine, be it the car you have, is because of the first industrial revolution, wherein the human beings built in factories where they could have, they could generate uh, uh, mechanical equipments, right? Then the second revolution happened. The second industrial revolution was where the assembly line was invented, right? Uh, Earlier, the productions were not that great. There were a lot of resources were required to produce, let's say, one car. After the invention of manufacturing assembly, uh, our growth sprung up. So we had cars producing at mass scale. We had roads built at mass scale. We had the luxury of electricity, gas, all those connections, right? Third industrial revolution is when we all have, most of us, I would say, would have lived through. This is where electronics, telephones, PCs were invented, right? So we started having these devices which were increasing our productivity further. A lot of work which was done on papers has moved to computers. I think there was a time, 90s, I clearly remember that when our parents would have to, everybody has to learn computer. So it became kind of a skill where everybody had to learn computer, otherwise they cannot survive, right? What is happening today is the fourth industrial revolution. And the difference is that all these devices are interconnected. All these devices have started speaking to each other. And that is generating a lot of data, right? Uh, you have a smartphone in your hand, you have a Netflix or a Prime on your TV, you have an Amazon or a Flipkart where every click is tracked, every movement is tracked. You have capabilities with these Flipkart and Amazon that if you have bought something, they will tell you what else are you interested in or what else would it make sense for you to buy, right? Or customers who have bought this will also are also interested in this and so on, right? So that's what we are living through, right? Recently, I'm sure you would have seen a video which went viral wherein an Amazon package was being delivered to someone's doorstep, but he was not home. But he had installed the Google Home, which is called Nest, right? Product. So with the help of which he could connect from the door of the customer directly to the customer who was in the office. Now, while he was in office, he said that I will unlock my Tesla car, which is right in the driveway, for which door need not to be open, and you can leave the package which you are delivering in that car, right? So just look at the connection, right? A Tesla and Amazon and a Google coming together with so many home solutions, and at the end of the day, business being done, right? Customer getting the services. So I think that's the revolution we are living in, and all of this, what it is doing is it's all leaving a lot of data. Companies are trying to harness the power of that data and build profits. So much so that companies have started disrupting business models. You must have also heard of that today Uber, which is probably the largest taxi company in the world, does not own any cabs. All they do is play with the data. They have the customer data, they have the driver data, and they work with the demand supply equation. They tell that there are the customers in this area, and that information is relayed to drivers, and drivers go to that area, and so on, right? They also increase their profitability using that data. If the demand is higher than the supply, then they apply surge in the real time, right? So they are able to generate more money from the same set of customers just because in that time period, in that area, the demand is such that they will not lose the customer and they generate more revenue. Right? So that's what fourth industrial revolution. We just talked about it, that what is happening is that the data is outpacing technology. It's expected that by 2020 there are 44 zillion bytes of data. I think one good example is that all the data which existed in the world till 2003 got created in 2004. So that 1 year creation of data was as good as the last 100 years, and that's the exponential growth with which we are moving, right? Today it is so on the right hand side, what you see is the cover which economists ran. World's most valuable resource is not oil but data. Today companies are fighting on ownership of data, and what how can they use the data, what they can use it for, and how can they drive profitability from it. Now let's come, all of this is good. At a macro level, all of this is happening. How does it distill to, or how does it apply to the careers, our careers, or the talent requirement or the growth which we are having? So some of the key drivers which you've already spoken about is exponential increase in data generation, right? What that has done is that data availability has also become easy. So today you visit your Facebook, you visit your Google search engines, you have a Gmail with you. So Google knows all the time what do you have. So the data is available with Google and Facebook. Similarly, Amazon knows what are you browsing, what product are you seeing, what are those pricing, what stage are you living at. You saw a price you were interested in, you saw the price was too much, you left at that. Amazon has all that data. Similarly, Flipkart has all that data, right? Uber knows what time do you book your cars, what is the usual time, what are the most frequently visited places by you. They have that data. So the data is available today for us to be able to analyze and drive insights from it. One of the other things which has happened is the affordability of tools. Now you need some tools to be able to work on that data, right? If it is 5,000 rows, 4,000 rows, you can work in Excel. I think beyond 10,000, Excel starts breaking. So you need a specific tool beyond a certain amount of data, right? Banking industry for a long while, because they are the ones who were early entrant into this space, they had access to users' bank accounts, the kind of transactions they were doing. They had access to credit card statements and what people are spending and at what appliances and instruments they are spending on and so on. So they had the data. Earlier they were working with SaaS. So SaaS is again a paid tool where you had to basically buy the subscription and work on that tool. Then R came. Lately, if you see in industry, a lot of focus is on R. A lot of companies, especially the new age companies, have started using R because that is open source. It really doesn't cost you anything to be able to use R. Only thing you need to know is that you need to know how R works, right? Similarly, Python. Very recently, the founder of Python has made it into an open library. So Python again is a free tool open to all. All we need is to know how to use that tool, right? So the affordability of tools have increased. Beyond all of this, what has also come that governments and other regulatory and risk compliances have built some structures around it. So every government is thinking how to protect data of its citizens or what are the right practices to basically work with the data, right? And they themselves are also using it to bring in greater transparency. So at all levels, because of these key drivers, we are seeing that analytics is gaining a lot of traction, right? Advanced analytics is gaining a prominence. There are new startups only and only which are coming in analytics space, right? As we just spoke, about 600 startups have sprung up last year only and only in analytics domain, right? One of the other studies done by NASSCOM, which clearly also validates the value of data-driven decision making, is that they said the top performing enterprises show a 5x higher usage of analytics as compared to low performers. So they did a study in which the top performing companies were very good at using data, had good analytics teams, and driving a lot of business insights from the data they had. With all this, I think we now understand that there is an industry which is a very rapidly growing industry. There is a lot of demand and supply gap in the talent space, right? So a lot of companies are looking for a lot of skilled professionals in the space, but they do not have the ability to hire them. But companies are still building teams. A lot of companies, we have been associated with all these companies for over the last 5 years. A lot of companies are still hiring the good employees and probably trying to train them. But if they get a ready talent from the market, they would be more than happy to have them on board than training someone after hiring. With that, we launched our business analytics certificate program. This program essentially helps someone to very quickly learn the business analytics tools and techniques. They learn it in a very hands-on, practical manner, so that the moment they finish the program, they are ready to go back to their work. They're ready to go back to the business problems and can immediately start using the data to drive business decisions or to drive more profits for the company, right? With that aim in mind, we started our business analytics certificate program. One of the very key questions is that there are so many programs out there in the domain, right? So there are at various levels, at various curriculum, they are teaching. So why should you learn from Great Lakes? I think one of the very key reasons is that Great Lakes is very, very focused on quality. This is a 6-month program wherein you will learn all analytics tools, techniques, and concepts. Time and again, we have seen that our students, the moment they complete the program, they are able to apply their learnings immediately. They have gone back to their own companies, have taken projects in analytics and delivered great outcomes, because of which they've been promoted. They have shifted to pure play analytics companies. They have shifted to big IT companies wherein they into their analytics teams, right? Wherein they're going to work on analytics projects. Why is that, right? It is all because of the learning outcomes. So Great Lakes focus a lot on learning outcomes. Great Lakes has the top ranked faculty. You will not be learning from someone who's just been doing this or who just knows it, but from academicians who have years and years of experience in research behind their backs, from people who are practicing data scientists and analytics professionals at various companies. uh, so I think 50% of the program you can say is delivered by the faculty, and a lot more, about 50% of the program or the exposure which you would have, you would learn from an industry practitioner. You will learn from a practicing data scientist, right? Because of all of these reasons, our programs have also been ranked best in the country. So, I mean, we can just go ahead and say that, okay, this is the best ranked program in the country, but I think it is because of some specific reasons that it has been ranked best in the country, especially in analytics. If you look at other programs, be it our one-year programs or a normal B school ranking, I think we are in top 10 in most of the rankings, and some of the ones we are among the top 20 B schools. All of this because there is a good focus on quality. There is a very good faculty and the industry expert resource. And whenever students learn and they go back to the industry or go to the market, they have outcomes. Let's talk more about the program curriculum. Now, if you look at the curriculum, this is primarily distributed in 6 month, 6 module kind of a structure. We will start with Intro to Analytics, which would have focus on tools such as R, Advanced Excel, and so on. Then there is Business Statistics, Descriptive Statistics. I will not go into the detailed ones. I think if you are interested, you can just have a look at that. It's also available on the website. But there is a Business Statistics and Advanced Statistics modules, which will basically, teach you about the statistical techniques such as linear regression, ANOVA, and all, right? Then we have a module on machine learning, which will talk about data mining using decision trees, random forest, and so on. There is a module on predictive modeling, which will focus on linear or nonlinear regression, neural networks, and other machine learning techniques. In the end, we have forecasting techniques, time series analysis, moving average analysis, and all of these techniques, right? So each month is basically dedicated to one module, and in the first 6 months, you will be learning these in these order. By the end of these 6 months, you would have a great grasp on all analytics tools and techniques. So while you are going through the program through each month, you may not be able to see the full picture, but at the end of the 5th or 6th month, you will start seeing a full picture. Whenever a business problem comes, you would be able to apply any of these techniques or decide which technique is better for what kind of problem. Okay. We also offer 3 optional modules beyond these 6 months. You can take extra time and you can learn these 3 modules. One is on data visualization using Tableau. So Tableau is a data visualization tool which is very widely used in the industry, wherein it helps you visualize the data and you can see the data in the form of graphs or pie charts and so on. So you don't have it makes your presentations interesting. Your leadership team loves it. So you in a very small visual format, you will be able to deliver the gist of the problem and what one should be doing. There is a module on introduction to big data, which will have Hadoop, Spark, and introduction to all of these tools. If you are in a space where you are working on big data, if you are in a space where you are dealing with very, very large volumes of data, or if you aspire to learn or if you aspire to transition to a company which works in that space, then I think this module will be beneficial for you. You can go through that module. And the third module is on Python. I think lately what we have also been seeing is that Python is gaining a lot of traction. All the problems you can do In R, you can solve, these are tools, right? You can solve it in R or you can solve it in Python also. Every new tool which comes up is a little easier to apply. So that's also the case, right? Every new tool which comes is easier to apply, but may not have the community around it. For example, in R, you'll be able to find all the scripts and everything very easily. In Python, the library, the community is still building and people are still putting up solutions. We have had cases where our students were looking for something they did not find in that library. They built it and put it out there for everyone's use. So those cases have also happened, right? Uh, you can take up. So these modules are optional because not everyone wants these modules. But if you are the one, you are working in an area or you are interested in that kind of area where you need to go through any of these modules, you can take any one of these or all three of these. The choice is yours. So that's why these are three optional modules at no additional cost. Now, how the learning happens, I think that's a very, very important aspect. I'm sure you all would have done research on online programs. How do learning learning is delivered in learning programs? Most of the programs you would see that you would have a lot of learning content. You would have videos. You can go through them, learn from them, and there would be some assignments, and you can just work from them. But that is not how this program works. This program is a bit different. This program is delivered in a personalized format with micro classes and with a mentorship support. So I'll just try and explain how is that different from a normal program and how that spans out. There is a video content. You will learn from video content. Let us say today you are learning about logistic regression, right? Or this week you are learning about logistic regression. So you would have content released for that topic in that week. You will go through that content and learn from it. Once you have learned from it, on the weekend, you will come online with a mentor, with 5 other peers. So essentially, it's an online micro class. There are going to be only and only 5 students with one mentor. The mentor is going to be a practicing data scientist or a practicing analytics professional who is part of industry, who is working with some of the companies in analytics domain and has extensive experience in the space, right? So that is your mentor. When you come online, you would, one, clarify all your doubts you would have had from those video watching in the last week. You would also uh, be walked through, you'll walk through a problem and you will solve the problem hands-on in that mentorship session, right? In most of the mentorship sessions. So basis and logistic regression, one might take a problem, one might give you a data set, and then you will in real time work on that problem to be able to come to conclusion and learn from it. So if you have learned from that content and have some doubts, those will get clarified. You'll be able to work on that technique hands-on, and you'll be able to uh, you know get exposure to how do you actually solve a problem using that technique. And if for some reason you are not able to understand, for some reason that was very hard for you to grasp from those videos, I'm sure after that session, and that is the regular feedback we have got, after that session that becomes very clear. You are able to learn and grasp that very well, right? So that is how it is different from other online programs. It is delivered in a personalized format. And why I say personalized? Because there are just 5 people. I mean, if you put 60 people, even in an online kind of a format, then I think some of us just stay back, don't even ask a question, even if we have a question. But if there are just 5 people, everybody has enough exposure. Mentor is observing each one of you, and he is also, I mean, you have the full freedom to ask any question of any kind, and that gets answered. Right. So the format is this, like this. Every first in the week, you go through the videos. On every weekend, you come online with a mentor. Then again, the next week, some other content or some other module is released. One of the other things here is that it is not up to you to go through the content. It is structured. It is modular. It is because we found out that it is better if we learn in a structured format. Over years, we have found out that what is good to learn when and how much time do participants usually take to grasp a concept. Basis this, a pace has been defined. So that's why we say by end of 6 months, you'll be able to learn these techniques in this much. Right? So that's that. Faculty, I think I've already spoken about, but if you want to look at some of the names, Dr. Bapadita Mukhopadhyay, he's a PhD from Indian Statistical Institute. He has been long associated with Great Lakes as a professor of statistics, business analytics, and finance. He is also ranked one of the top 10 analytics academicians in the country. Dr. P.K. Vishwanathan, again, who is a professor of statistics and business analytics. He's PhD and MS from Canada University. He's an MBA from FMS Delhi. Dr. P.K. Vishwanathan has written many books on business statistics, and he is also ranked among one of the top 10 academicians, analytics academicians in India. Dr. Sarbashi Vasu, again, he PhD from Penn State University, USA. He's an MSc Statistics from University of Calcutta, long associated with Great Lakes. She was before Great Lakes. I think she was a professor at ISI as well. Dr. Sridhar, again, PhD from State University in New York. MA also from the State University in New York. Dr. Sridhar has also been long associated with Great Lakes. So we learn from these faculty, which are known for their analytics credentials, which are known for their research in the space. These are some of the industry mentors you would have exposure to. As I said, that every weekend you would be coming online and with a mentor, wherein he will walk you through a problem. He will help you apply that learning and learn hands-on, and will clarify all your doubts. Right. So if you look at some of the names here, there are people from Microsoft, Thomson Reuters, Cognizant, Viacom, Deloitte, HSBC, right, Bank of America. So name a firm. All these companies are using analytics extensively, and these are the people who are working with analytics. On their weekdays, they would actually be working on applications of analytics in their work life. On weekends, they would come and teach you. Okay. What also happens with the mentors is that it's not just limited to that problem. After a certain point in time, you start developing a relationship with the mentor, and the mentors, because they are in the middle of the industry, they also go out and you can have conversations around careers, you can have conversations around your profile, you can have conversations around how can you make the best use of opportunity. We all believe that it is not just one solution fit all. At least from the career planning point of view, everyone has to plan their career a bit differently. Someone with 10 or 12 years of experience would plan it differently than someone with 5 years of experience. Someone working in finance domain might plan it differently than someone who has an extensive exposure to marketing domain and so on, right? So these mentors would also help you in queries like this, and will help you gain an insight on how can you make the most of the opportunity available in front of you. E-portfolio is one of the very, very key aspect of the program, and this is what from the alumni and the student feedback also, we know that this is what is most loved by students. That is it's a solution where every project you do in your program helps you build a body of work, right? I'm assuming at the end of the program, or somewhere towards the end of the program, you would, if you are looking for opportunities in analytics, you would go ahead and will start appearing for analytics interviews. Now, one of the key questions you get asked in those interviews is that what exposure do you have in analytics? What kind of experience do you bring to the table in analytics, right? Every recruiter loves to ask that question, and they would obviously prefer someone who has done something in analytics. Now, not all of us may have a prior experience in analytics, because the space is coming up, we are learning, and that's how the program is structured, right? But what you can very well talk about all the projects you did, which are very fine, nuanced, and very close to the real business problems, right? If you have worked on these business problems and you utilized some of the techniques, you came up with conclusions, and that builds your body of work, right? You can go to an interview, you can not just when you have entered the interview, but even before, if you have a body of work, you would share for shortlisting. So it also improves your chances of shortlisting for those kind of jobs if they believe that they have done these kind of projects, use these kind of techniques, and you have this exposure, right? As you go through the program on our learning management system called Olympus, which is a technology-enabled solution, this e-portal will be building on its own, and it's totally shareable. So it's built in a manner that you can share it in any format you like with anybody, either on the social platforms or otherwise. We also have dedicated program office support. We also believe that it's not limited to the access to someone or your doubts or any problem you're facing is not limited to that. You can only talk to them on the weekends, right? So there is a dedicated program office support. It will support you throughout your learning journey. So it will help you in assignments, it will help you in the projects, it will help you in your, if you have any doubts, it will clarify your doubts, right? Uh, on top of it, he will also try and nudge you if he believes that you are not able to submit your assignment on time, or you are slacking. We all have work commitments. I think the program has a large chunk of people from various industries. So we believe that all of you are working someplace and you may get bogged down by work commitments at times. But I think that's very important that someone is sitting, tracking your progress, and will keep coming back to you and try and nudge you that you also need to complete this, right? So that also we believe that is helps you complete program on time, one, and that kind of help is also appreciated by all our students and alumni. One of the key aspects is the career support services. Most of us who come to this program are looking to either build analytics teams in our organizations or work for an analytics team. Sometimes that opportunity is available within our company. We can visually see it. I'm just in another team, but there is an analytics team and they're doing this kind of stuff. I can move there once I have that skill set, or we want to move to a different company altogether. The essential part is that we just want to grow in our careers, either in designation by taking a promotion or by in terms of salary growth, right? So there are workshops. We all believe that while learning is fine, learning is great, and probably that will have 90% of the outcomes. Once you know what you are doing, once you have the ability to look at a business problem, find out what data should you be looking at, what technique you should be applying, what result you should be delivering, and basis that result, if you can have some recommendations which will have impact on the business profitability, great. But there are softer aspects as well, right? Those softer aspects are around resume and interview preparation. So there are sessions on how to prepare an analytics resume. When you're appearing for an analytics interview, what to keep in mind, what questions can you expect, how to answer those, and so on. Great Learning in Great Lakes also has a running job board. As I said, we've been associated with the industry from over last 5 years. We have a network of about 400 industry experts and mentors. So these are currently practicing analytics in various companies. So they also have requirements in their own teams. And there is a career support desk which is actively looking for opportunities for our students. Now, what they do is that they pull in all of those opportunities and put into a job board, which will become available to you, I think, around third month or fourth month of the program. So that after that, once you have access to that, you can see what are the opportunities which are relevant to you, can apply. Once you apply and get shortlisted, then you take the conversation forward, right? Greatly, for that particular job role. This also helps. You will have an opportunity to network with your class, the batch, the 5 people you'll be learning with. I mean, you will build a relationship with them over a period of 6 months. You can utilize that as an opportunity. More than that, you will be interacting with a lot of industry experts, right? As I said, a lot of analytics practitioners. So I think you will develop a relationship with them as well. And we have seen many a times both of these channels also result in opportunities. We have seen people hiring from their own groups, hiring from their own class. We have seen mentors hiring our students at their work for upcoming team projects or any new team they are trying to build and so on, right? And one of the very good way we advise everyone is to basically impress a guest lecturer or a guest speaker or your own mentor is to ask very good questions. I think if you ask very good questions in any class or in any session, an industry expert or a practitioner will immediately take note of it. Okay. Having said that, these are some of the companies from where we have seen opportunities spring up. These are some of the companies for which the roles and opportunities we have shared on our portal. During a recent study, we also saw that students in the prior batches have achieved a salary hike of about 32%. right? So this is average. I think if you look at, there are many who have done more than 50%, and there are some who have done 10%, 20% also. So it all, as I said, it also depends on what kind of experience do you already have, what kind of skill set did you learn, and what impact can you have going forward. Are you moving within your own company, or are you moving to another company, another career altogether? These are some of the success stories. I put it all out there because I get a lot of questions from, I work in A domain, can I do analytics? I work in B domain, can I do analytics? People have questions around, I am a software developer, I have a testing job, right? I am into consulting, I am into data warehousing, I am into operations, right? From various, and not just from various domains and industries, but from various varied work experiences, right? There are people with 10 or 12 years of experience who are trying to learn this. There are people with 2 or 3 years of experience who are trying to learn this. There are business heads who have come and learned this. So I think this, some of these transitions I put out there to basically uh, make a case for that you can actually transition to business analytics from anywhere. As I said in the very beginning of this webinar, that every business, every domain, every function is in the need of analytics. Like everybody had to learn computers in 90s, I think today all of us need to learn how to work with data, how to use data to make smarter decisions. If you work in marketing, you would know that your leadership team wants to work with the data and come up with better insights. If you are in finance, there is data all around. If you are in operations or supply chain or logistics, right, you are working with the data. For example, if you look at companies like Swiggy or others, or delivery, right, the companies which have solved the logistics problems for e-commerce, right, they've done it using data, right? Some of the alumni which speaks about our program, they would be really around at how easy the structure, how flexible the structure it, how our team or the program manager helps you achieve the outcomes, right? What is the quality of faculty? What is the quality of content? What is the quality of projects? What is the quality of hands-on work do you get to do? I think it's also important to look at what kind of students do basically take up this program. So I've just put this slide here to give you an insight on, what kind of people do basically sign up for this program. So if you look at, there is a clear diversity across all work experiences, right? So there are people with even 15 plus years of experience. There are people with 12 years of experience. There are freshers as well. There are people who are in the final year of their college and they're trying to study it, because with the regular engineering or the regular UG curriculum, probably they're not going to get a job. But there is a lot of demand for analytics professionals otherwise. And if they add that skill set on top of their undergraduate degree, they'll be able to transition to these roles. So that's there. Uh, a lot of from industry diversity. I mean, there are people from IT, which again, at the forefront, I think the slowdown in IT is visible to everyone. So they are the ones who are looking for the new skill sets, which can help them stay relevant and grow their career. Then there are people in automobile manufacturing, consulting. There are people in analytics already. Some of them know it a little bit. They want to learn it structurally in a more formal manner. There are people who have ended up in analytics without much knowledge of it, and they really just want to grasp it very soon and make uh, an opportunity out of it. There are people in BFSI, healthcare, power, energy. Every single domain has started applying these, right? Recently, we're getting queries on HR analytics and so on. So as function as traditional as HR is now looking at how to make use of data to decrease employee attrition or to design better compensation and so on. Just a small insight how the educational qualification looks like. I think most of the class will be made up of engineers, but there is a fair share of people from other streams such as computer applications, commerce, or science. There is a fair bit of audience which also has done masters either on the technology front or on the business side. One of the key components, I think, is what kind of companies do the students represent. It also indicates what kind of peer learning and networking opportunities would you have, right? So if you look at this slide, and it's obviously indicative, it is not a complete list. These are the companies where people come from. I think you'll be able to. I'm sure you'll be able to either spot your company there, or what kind of company these people come from. What is the quality of the students in the class, right? Yeah, so I just wanted to address one question here, which I get asked often, so I thought I'll just answer it right away. When we look at personalized learning in micro classes, you will be grouped with people with a similar work experience. For example, if you have 15 plus years of experience, you will not have people or you will not have freshers in your class because that doesn't enhance your learning experience. We make sure that we provide a great learning experience, and one of the ways we found out is to group similar work experience people in one bracket so that they are at a same level of understanding, and the mentor who is mentoring them every weekend can tailor their approach specific to their requirements. And that also helps us make learning personalized. That's why we say personalized learning. So if there are 5 freshers, we will group all 5 freshers in one micro class so that the learning can happen with respect to their profile and with respect to their understanding. And if there are people with higher end of 10 plus, 12 plus years of experience, we try and put them together so that they have one understanding, and the learning experience can be great. At the end of it, I'll just talk about the eligibility criteria and admission details. I think the eligibility criteria is a bachelor's degree. We ask for minimum 50% in graduation. As I mentioned earlier, students in the final year of their graduation can also apply as long as they believe that by the end of it they'll be able to uh, at least they'll graduate with 50% marks. The program fees is 1.25 lakhs plus GST. Uh, there is a financing option with a 0% EMI with one of our partners, which is the Zest Money. I think it will come down to about 9837 rupees per month for in 12 equal installments. This does not include the 25,000 rupees admissions fees. I think we'll have to pay to confirm your seat, to book your seat, the 25,000 rupees as an admissions fees. Once you do that, after that, you can just simply pay by an EMI of about 908,000 rupees per month. If you do not want to go for this easy EMI or 0% EMI option, you can also pay in installments. There are 3 installments after the admissions fees, 3 equal amount installments. Whatever amount is left, you can pay it in 3 equal installments. You can also pay the whole amount in one go. I think if you do that, you will be eligible for one-time prepayment scholarship, which is 10,000 rupees. You look at the selection process. Application is online. You go to website. There is a link. You just fill in your application. Basis the application, you will receive a call. They will look through your profile. They will talk to you what kind of experiences you have had, and post that call, a shortlisting and selection is done, and you would receive an admissions offer. Application deadline for upcoming deadline is 1st November, which I think it is today. So if you're interested in the program, I'd strongly advise you to just go ahead and apply so that the admissions team can take your applications forward. I think the batch is starting post Diwali around 17th or 18th of November. Thank you. That is all I had to say. I think if I will now take a pause and you all can type in any questions you have, and I'll be happy to take all those questions. Okay. I have some questions, so I'll just go through them. I also have a bunch of questions which were asked when we started, when you were signing up for the webinar. I'll just take them as well for your benefit. Jitendra asked what is the eligibility of this course. I think I just spoke about it. So a bachelor's degree is the eligibility for this course. You need to have 50% in your bachelor's. Uh, Students in the final year can also apply. Manoj asks, is this good for your career? And there is a similar question from Saurabh on how this course helps in transforming career into analytics. There is a similar question from Powers on benefits of the program for career enhancement and transition to other roles. Okay, good. So I think we've talked extensively about it. Uh, if you're looking at a career in business analytics, the first comes the opportunity, whether there are enough jobs, whether there is enough demand, whether companies are looking for a talent of that kind. I think that is the question number one which one should ask. And you need not to rely on anybody, but you can just simply go to Naukri, Times Jobs, any portal you follow, IAM Jobs, right? LinkedIn Jobs, and just type in those keywords, type in those tools, type in those techniques, type in those skill set, and see what is the number of jobs that sprung up. Right? So I think that's a good way of validating uh, are there jobs in the market. We believe there are a hell lot. We have seen year after year, and that is the demand supply gap is actually growing year on year because all businesses are looking to harness the power of data, right? All businesses are looking how to use data to make or to increase profits, right? So that's one. So there is opportunity. Two, what is the growth of that industry? I think that's also a very important question to ask. That is because if you are in that industry, your growth naturally year on year will be proportionate to the growth of that industry. Right? And that's why I drew the comparison between IT industry and business analytics industry. If you are part of IT industry, you will grow at 6% year on year. At least that is the trend. And if you have friends there or if you are working there, you would know what kind of growth you or the people in IT industry usually are having, right? So if you're part of business analytics industry, you will grow at the rate at which business analytics is growing. Again, so that's number two. There is strong validation there that the business analytics industry, which has just come up in recent years, and for next few years, that industry is going to grow at a very rapid pace. Naturally, if you are in that industry, your career will also take the same path. Third is that will you have that skill set? Will you have that capability to be able to work on those jobs and not just work on those jobs, to be able to do better, to be able to do great. Because if you are in a position where you just gotten into with some luck or somehow gotten into a position, but if you are not able to deliver there, then that will be a problem. And while you have gotten something out of your career, that may not sustain. So I think that's where the program comes in. So the program really helps you understand all core business analytics, concepts. No, I would not say it completes it. It has everything because that is very very difficult. But it does cover 80% of what is being used in this industry. We have very closely collaborated with industry. We have very frequent conversations with them. Right. Any moment anything is changing in the industry, we get a hang of it and we implement that in our programs. So it covers most of what is being used in the industry. So that's there. Once you learn all of these things, you will be able to go back to your workplace. You'll be able to go back to your job and apply those learnings immediately to drive, data-driven decisions. Yeah. In addition to that, I think the program also offers career enhancement services, which are around softer aspects, on resume and mock interview preparation, helping you, make aware about all the opportunities available in the market and helping you convert those. Marizilla asks that is there any scholarship I can apply for? No, Marizilla, unfortunately, there is nothing. There's just one scholarship I talked about. If you pay all your fees in one go, you can, I think, you can get about 10,000 rupees off as a scholarship. Okay, Pavas asked who is the speaker. I joined 3 minutes late. Okay, Pavas, my name is Ajit. I'm part of the admissions team at Great Lakes for the Business Analytics Certificate Program. Will the primary language used here is R or Python? Pavas again asks, I'm interested to do it in Python. Is that an option? Okay, so R and Python are just tools, right? So if you look at various tools and techniques, right, you can do them either in R, you can do them either in Python. So it's just a means to an end. As I said earlier, also any new tool which comes up is usually easier to implement or better than the past one. That's the natural progression. Otherwise, that tool will never catch the virality. That tool will never be popular, right? So as we say, recently there is a movement towards Python from R. And looking at that, we have included Python in our program. Now the program as of today is delivered in R. You will solve all those problems, all those sets in R, right? But you will also have a module on Python. What that does is that It's just a way of implementing things, right? How do you apply one particular technique using R or Python? If you have learned those techniques and if you have learned one tool, it is not very difficult to pick up that tool on your own. That is one. Moreover, on top of that, there is a module on Python. You must go through that module. Once you're done with that module, then you will be able to go back and implement all those techniques using Python. Right? So these are essentially scripts to be able to solve a problem. One other differentiation I think I must speak here is that for some problems R may be a better tool to apply. For some problems Python may be a better tool to apply. And one specific use case that we have seen is that R is good for data which is stored, which you have some data already. You have a dump of the data, and you are working on that to build models or to drive insights. Then you can use R for that, right? Python is very good for live data. If you want to, analyze real time and throw up results real time, right? So that's very good use for building models using Python, right? One such example is e-commerce, right? In Amazon, the way you are searching, they don't build that what you should buy or what they are going to the recommendation engines, what they are going to recommend to you a day before. The next day you visit, you will see those lists. No, everything changes real time. Basis what you are browsing, every single action you are taking is stored, recorded, analyzed, and basis that real-time recommendations are made to you. So that's a very good use for Python, right? So whenever you have to use data real-time, Python is better. If the data is lying with you, R is better. In most of the cases, they can be used interchangeably as well. On top of it, the last thing I want to say, if you've learned one tool, it's very easily to learn another tool and implement it. And there is a module on Python in class in our curriculum. Once you have gone through that module, you will be able to implement all the learnings you have had using Python as well. Are these professors our mentors? A very good question, Paus. No. So professors would have the recorded content, right? All the content in the video format which you will go through will be by these professors, right? But the mentors, as we speak, these are all industry experts. These are all practicing analytics professionals, right? So the mentors are the ones who are actually out there in the industry right now implementing those solutions, right? So you will learn from faculty as well as at times as mentors recorded content. You will come on weekend on that mentorship session and there the mentor from the industry will be there to be able to which will basically help you walk through a problem, make you do some work hands-on, and clear your doubts and so on. Nimi asks, when is the next batch? Next batch is starting around 17th or 18th of November. So it's the week after Diwali. Is there a batch after January? Nimi asks. I think we keep having batches, so we will not have visibility for the batch after the November batch, Nimi. We obviously close one batch first and then we move on to the next batch. But yes, I'm assuming that there will be a batch after January as well. For optional modules, the timing of course gonna increase. Yes, I do not have the name of the person who has asked this, but yes, what will happen is that see if you have started picking up fast, obviously at outright I would say that it will increase. Probably you can take off it as a 9-month program. If you are smart, if you want to do it faster, you can obviously do it faster. But additional modules I'm talking about. Rest of the learning is structured, by the way. So that these 3 modules you can do it faster, but we don't recommend it. We also know that it will take you a month to grasp it fully. So it will increase to 9 months. But the program completes at the end of 6 months of the structured curriculum, as we spoke about, right? So if you have passed it with a certain percentage or whatever the criteria is, you will get your certificate and you will get your course will complete at that time. And you can use further 3 months or 2 months to go through the optional modules you want to go through, right? That is basically learning is there, and on top of that, that's additional for you. You can take up all 3 modules if all 3 make sense to you, or you can take up only the ones that make sense to you as per your profile your aspirations. Is it useful to a chartered accountant? Yeah, I think we have seen some of students as a chartered accountant. We have seen some people do it, but I think more than that, it depends a lot on your own aspirations and the kind of work do you want to get into, right? Uh, it depends on, let's say, if you're a chartered accountant, as along with that you are into corporate finance, or if you are maybe a CFO or aspiring for to be CFO of an organization, and you have a lot of work with a lot of data around finance, and you want to have an analytics professional which will basically help you optimize that cost or that spend, right? So there are use cases. I think we'll need to have a lot more personalized conversation on that to be able to guide that. I suggest you reach out to our admissions team and they can set up a personalized conversation or a guidance around that area. Right? We can take it there. What about doctors? Shashidhar asks, what about doctors? Yes, so lately we have seen a lot of doctors taking up our programs. We ourselves were surprised at one point by that. I think a lot of pharma and doctors do take up our programs. Uh, Many of those doctors are the ones which has gone to the business side. As you see today, that healthcare industry has also opened up in terms of businesses. There are corporate groups. There are doctors who are not only performing surgeries but also managing the profit and loss or P&Ls of a hospital hospital administration and so on, right? So if you are in that kind of a space, or you aspire to do something for business, or you want to open your own clinic. We have had a lot of dentists who have their own clinics because they want to learn data analytics on how can they increase profitability of their the solutions, right? So that's there. Again, it's a very specific use case. We have seen doctors taking up our programs, learning this specific skill set, and go back and implement it in the healthcare industry. We've also seen a lot of pharma folks. I think from clinical trials to relating diabetic to depression, so we've seen a whole lot of projects in healthcare industry as well, wherein people have the data, they want to work with it, and uh, you know they want to decrease either the cost of it, or they want to speed up the process. So one specific project I was just mentioning is that one of our students did is they correlated diabetic with depressions. I think they developed an app. Using that app, every diabetic patient will take a picture and will answer some questions every day, or with some time period. And basis their facial expressions, or basis the questions they answered, they correlated whether diabetes is related to depression or not, and so on. So there are interesting problems, as I said. There are very interesting problems in every possible industry. A lot of it depends on what are your aspirations. What do you want at the end of it? So I think as long as those align with something to do with data to drive, decisions or profits or effectiveness or performance, right? As long as that aligns, I think that's a good skill set to have. Shashidhar, about placement in healthcare. Okay, as I said, there is no formal placement, Shashidhar, but I think what you can do is that you can look at, are there opportunities in that space in healthcare? From my experience, we have seen some. There are opportunities. There are people in these industries who are looking for talent which has that kind of skill set. So that's definitely there. How much, how extensive? I think that's something to be seen. And whether it relates to your profile or the kind of work experience do you have, that also is to be seen. Okay. I think I have few more questions here, but we have run out of time. I think we've almost at 5. I think what I'll do is that I'll end this webinar there. I will ask my team to reach out to you individually on some of more questions which I've not been able to answer. A lot of them are around individual profiles. Right? If I look at, I was a developer. Uh, I was into a role of system analyst and so on. So there are a lot of questions which are around personal profiles. So I think the personal conversation would make uh, will make you understand how this program is for you. What I will do is I will ask my admissions team to reach out to you and to individually answer all the questions which I have not been able to answer on this webinar. Okay. With that, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. I know it's hard to take out time, 1 hour of time on a weekday, on a busy weekday. Thanks again. I wish you all great luck in your careers. Just to reiterate, the deadline for this program is today for the upcoming batch, which starts on 18th of November or 17th or 18th of November. Do sign up if you're interested. Thank you.